Hey guys, this is Marquise here, and today I'm going to show you how to find a cheap flight to Madrid, Spain. So, first, what you're going to want to do is going to head over to googleflights.com, and Google Flights is one of the best flight search engines that I've ever seen. So, I definitely recommend starting here. And you're going to want to go to your origin, and even though I live in Philadelphia, you're gonna want to put in New York. Now, you might live in Los Angeles, or you might live in Kansas City, or you might live in Detroit, but I recommend putting New York because New York usually has the best prices to get over into Europe, and it's a lot of times cheaper to fly from your home city to New York and then New York to your destination in Europe versus flying straight from booking a trip from straight from your origin city to your destination. So we're gonna switch it from Philadelphia to New York. Okay, and then what we're going to do is go to the map section right here. And we already have it switched right here to the 1 week trip in the next 6 months. Now, this is very important because the more flexible you are with your booking dates and stuff, the better prices you're going to find. So, a lot of times it starts off here with specific dates. So, you're going to want to go to flexible dates and switch it to that. And then it gives you like if you want to fly in May, June, July, or over the next couple months, or you can press all, which is what I recommend, and then just do a 1 week trip, or a weekend trip, or a 2 week trip, depending on how long you want to go. But usually I stick to a 1 week trip. Make sure that's on, and then we will look over at Europe. Okay. And as we can see, our trip to Madrid is looking to be $273, which I would say is a pretty good value. When dealing with Google Flights in general, I would stick to cities that are in green because it means that the prices are cheaper than normal. So we go ahead and click our Madrid trip, and then it'll bring up the airlines, which are flying that trip and what they're charging. So it looks like all the airlines they have listed here are charging pretty much the same price. So we can go to view flights, and then we can go to, let's say, American because it's a nonstop, and then choose your returning flight. And then it shows you right here what your dates are. So it has Monday, October 28th, you leaving, and Wednesday, November 6th, you coming back to New York. And so doing it this way ensures that you're finding the best fare possible versus trying to put in your own dates. And, I know sometimes, you take days off of work and you try to fit your vacations into those days. But if you're looking for, getting the most bang for your buck, I highly suggest picking, basically letting the trip find you instead of you find the trip, if that makes sense. So, you'll go and just find what the cheapest dates are, and then try to get those dates off of work versus trying to get the dates off of work first and then trying to book the trip. So there is another way that we can find this trip. If you go to another one of my favorite websites called the ITA software Matrix, if you just go to Google and type in Matrix flight search or ITA Matrix or something like that, it'll bring up this page. It doesn't look super user friendly. However, that's fine with us. So what you'll do here, it has a lot more features than Google Flights has, even though it's kind of partnered with Google Flights, but this is just kind of a more advanced version of it. So you're able to, change different variables and stuff that you wouldn't be able to with Google Flights to find your perfect trip. So let's say you live in Detroit, and so we're gonna look at um, New York City first, getting across. Maybe you're like, well, maybe there is a Detroit trip that is cheaper. Well, we can search that here at the same time. So we'll type in DTW for Detroit, and then destination. If you're going to Madrid, you can do MAD for Madrid. And then a cool feature that the Matrix has is that you can search for nearby airports. So maybe, if you're willing to do a little traveling, like maybe Madrid is kind of high, but if we can go from 75 miles to, I'm sorry, from anywhere from 25 miles to 2,000 miles from your destination city. So maybe Madrid is kind of high, but for example, Frankfurt is super cheap. Well, it might be cheaper just to book the flight to Frankfurt and then book a flight from Frankfurt to Madrid than trying to pay the more expensive Madrid straight to Madrid flight. So we will go ahead and let's do 500 miles for today. And then, so that's pretty much going to get you a lot of airports in Spain and the surrounding areas. And then you can go down here to select all. And then for dates, you can do exact dates. So say you really have to stick with the dates that you get off from work or something like that. You are able to work with that more using the Matrix software versus using the Google Flights. So let's go to, let's say you have set off, you can do June 30th. Oh, go back. Let's do June 30th. And then your return date is July 7th. Now, like I said before, flexibility is the best thing that you can possibly have when traveling to get better prices. So this has an option to where if you want to depart or arrive on the date that you have, and then it also has if you want to depart on this day only, or or this day and the day before, or this day or the day after, or plus or minus a day, or plus or minus 2 days. Just to give you a little bit more flexibility, it'll search, more flights to see if there's anything cheaper. Because it's a horrible feeling to realize that if only you flew out the day after versus the day you flew out, you could have saved, $100 or something like that. And so that is possible with this. What I kind of like to do is that I like to go see the calendar of lowest fares. And here you can just type in, let's go to June. And let's do June 15th. So start June 15th. And then it's going to search a month span of time from June 15th to July 15th. And your length of stay. So if you want to do like a week trip, you could either do, you want to stay 6 nights, or you can do maybe 5 to 7 nights, or, something like that. Like I said before, more flexibility, better deals you're going to find. So they can choose how many people are flying. We'll just stick to 1 for right now. Cabin, cheap is available. Stops, no limit. I rarely see anything more than 2 stops. So you should be fine with this area down here. It's not going to send you on like a 10 stop, itinerary to your destination or something like that. Allow airport changes. This all depends on you. If this will do so like sometimes it'll be cheaper to fly from New York to Madrid and then fly back from Madrid to Detroit or something like that. Or on the other side, maybe it's cheaper to fly from New York to Barcelona and then fly back from Madrid to New York or different things like that. So if you're able to be flexible like that, then by all means keep it checked because it's going to search more for you and try to find you a better deal. If not though, you can leave it unchecked. But let's go ahead and leave it checked for this example. Um, and then only show flights with prices with available seats. I always leave this checked. I don't even know why they have this as an option. It doesn't make sense to me. And then the currency, if you're searching from the United States, you're fine. However, if you're trying to book a flight leaving the United States, I should say you're fine. However, if you're trying to find flights between Germany and Spain, and you want your prices to be shown in dollars instead of euros, then you'll just put USD right here. And then we'll just leave this there. It won't hurt anything or anything like that. And then we can hit search. Okay, it usually takes like a minute or two because it's searching like a ton of flights. So we'll just give this a minute to load. Okay. I guess when you're searching for real, this would be a good time to get a snack or a drink or something like that. It can take up to like a minute or two. So you just kind of have to be patient with it. Okay, so it said our search timed out. So what we can do is chances are that it is trying to find too many it's searching too many flights, so you just narrow your options a little bit. So let's say instead of within 500 miles, let's do 200 miles of Madrid, and so then we can do select all. Okay, and then let's do 5 to 6 days just to shrink it down a little bit more and search. Here we go. Okay, so now it brings up a month's worth of flights. So we can see prices. Let's say on starting at the 15th of June, we have 5 nights, or 5 nights for $585 round trip, or 6 nights for $612 round trip. But what it's going to show you in orange, which we really want to pay attention to, is what's the absolute cheapest deal that it found. And sometimes it might just be one day, or it might be multiple days with the same price. But so this 504 right here is going to be the cheapest in this time frame that it found flights to your destination. Well, in this case, Madrid. So we're going to hit the 504. Okay, here we go. So it looks like the 504 fare is coming from Air Europa, and this flight leaves at 10:05 p.m. from JFK, and it's landing in Madrid at 11:40 a.m. on July 11th, Madrid time. Um, and this little circle right here lets you know it's an overnight flight. There's a few of these like little indicators which can be helpful. Like this one right here is a long layover. This one right here shows that if you miss this connection, because they have the connection in Boston, if you miss this connection, it could lead to significant delays. There might not be a lot of flights flying from Boston to Madrid, or something like that. So they're just kind of little helpful tools. You can decide what you're willing to book or not book, or stuff like that. But we'll go with the cheapest here with Air Europa. So this is our outbound flight. So our outbound, we're flying from JFK to Madrid without any layovers. It'll be a 7-hour, 35-minute flight. And then now we're going to book our return flight. Okay, so our return flight, the cheapest, is going to be Air Europa again, at 5:04. It departs at 3:15 p.m. in Madrid, and then comes back to JFK at 5:45 p.m. It lands at JFK time. So that's going to be an 8-hour, 30-minute flight. Now it has a few other options here for $2 more. It would bring you back from Bilbao to JFK, and with a layover in Madrid, which this is it's kind of nice if like you want to kind of add a little bit more to your vacation. So, while you're in Madrid, maybe you could take a train or a bus or a cheap flight to Bilbao, kind of get like two cities during one trip or something like that. Um, but we'll just, for this example, stick with the Madrid to JFK, um, at 5:04. And so then now it shows a very detailed breakdown of everything that goes into the flight price. So the fare, it actually has it at 50 cents going from New York to Madrid. And then the fare coming back from Madrid to New York, it has going at $60.50. I don't know why this is going at 50 cents. Um, I don't really have an answer for it. However, I have seen things like this before, um, with other search engines and booking softwares and stuff like that. I don't know how they profit off of this, but sometimes it's like this, but that's not super important for us. As long, the most important for us is that we're getting the cheap deal. But then it shows like what kind of fees and taxes go into the makeup of your ticket price, and then it has a total ticket price at $503.83. Now the only thing with searching flights on the Matrix airfare search is that you can't directly book your flight off of the Matrix Airfare Search website. However, there is a really easy and simple way to get around this. If you go to the website, I'll bring it up here. It's called bookwithmatrix.com. Okay. Um, and this site is basically dedicated to booking flights from the Airfare Matrix software. So what we'll do is that we'll go back to this page with the Matrix Airfare software, and you're just gonna hit Control A, and it's gonna highlight everything. Even the little help, send feedback, flights. The logo, everything. Don't worry about it. Just Control A and then Control C to copy it all. And then you're going to go back over to the Book with Matrix site and go in here and hit Control V to paste it all. and then it'll find the flight for you out on a booking site that you're actually able to book the flight. Now, I've had experiences in the past where sometimes the flight price on the Matrix, it's no longer available or something like that. However, I would say 99% of the time, you're usually fine. It comes up with the same price. So this one has book with Just Fly for $763. We're not paying that to go to Madrid. So let's see. It has a few other options here. Let's see what Priceline has it as. Okay. Wait for this page to fully load. Okay, it has continued to check out for $0 per person, which I highly doubt is correct. There definitely has to be some kind of catch to that. So when in doubt, what we can do is we can try to find the flight ourselves. So if we go, let's see, Air Europa. So let's try to find, go to Air Europa's website. Okay. Okay, so the flight was leaving from JFK and landing in Madrid. And the dates, let's go back to the dates and see what they were. So the dates were Wednesday, July 10th to Tuesday, July 16th. So we'll go back to the website and go July 10 to the 16th, search. Okay, so it has this flight here leaving at 22:05 military time, so that would be 10:05 p.m. and arriving at 11:40 a.m., which I believe that's our same flight over here. Yep, 10:05 to 11:40. And then this segment is going to be $204. We'll hit the check mark there. Okay, and then this just kind of shows you what's included and what's not included in your fare. So you can bring on like a carry-on, but you can't bring on like a checked baggage and stuff like that. And then we'll select the return flight. Okay, so it has the return flight as being $559.12. So it looks like this flight is that this price for this flight right here is what's messing us up, and that it's not available anymore. So it could be just that possible split second between searching and going to book the flight that the prices went up, or something like that. But it's really not a big deal. What we can do is, if we go back to flights here, we can just find a new return flight. And it's funny because when booking cheap flights and stuff like that, everything is super, super time sensitive. So a deal that you might find at one point could be gone the, very next minute. So you kind of have to act fast when booking flights. But we'll see if we can find one that's comparable in price to our original one that we found. Okay, so this is the 504. So let's stick with this date. And then here, just as a side note while we're waiting, you have the option to switch it from if you wanted just to search complete trips for you, if you want to choose each flight individually. And this even has a time bars option where it almost gives like a timeline where it shows you, here, let's go down here. So it will show you like when the flights are taking off and when they're landing and everything like that, so you can kind of get a better idea of how the time is going to work out, if you're interested in this view or not. I usually just stick to like the individual and the complete trip section. So this one looked to be good, so we'll choose this one and then we'll just change it on the way back. Okay, so we have this Bilbao flight. Let's see if we can find that price. Okay. So since we're searching for just a return trip, you'll hit outbound only, go BIO to JFK, and it's gonna be on the 16th, if I remember correctly. Yes, July 16th right here. Okay, so this is giving us super high prices as well. So this is what we can do. Let's try to find go back to the matrix. Let's go back to let's see. Hit the back button and see if we can. Okay, so we're at the calendar, and then we'll go here, and then let's choose this 554 right here. And then something that just came to mind for me that a few of you might have questions about is that, why is this flight 554 and the one that you showed us on Google Flights so much cheaper? Well, this one is because this is leaving sooner to our date now. At the time of recording, it is May 14th, and we're searching in June. And so the flights that we found earlier were in, I believe they were in October. Yeah, they were in late October and then returning in early November. But this is more like if you're leaving, it's it's more advanced and it's giving you it allows you to pick a more specific time frame. So like we're just doing from June 15th to July 15th. So this is showing us the best prices for that month only. Me personally, I would probably still stick with the Google flight because it is so much cheaper. But if you are constrained to time and want to go on a trip, in this specific time frame, then this is when this search tool would come in. But we'll continue with this. So it looks like we have here a British Airways flight from $554 round trip. So we'll click that. And so it has us going from New York, LaGuardia to Madrid with a layover in Boston. And then coming back, it is going from Madrid to New York with a layover at London Heathrow Airport. And so we have a price of $553.33. And so we'll go back again and hit Control A. Go to the Matrix. I'm sorry, not the Matrix, the Book with Matrix website. Control V to paste it. Okay, let's see. Oh, I don't think we copied it. I was like, that looks kind of weird. So let's go Control A again, Control C, and Control V. Okay, looks better. This is our new flight that we found, not the Air Europa flight that didn't pan out. Okay, so $553.33. Good. This is the price that we saw. So we can book the flight with the flight network, we can book it with Priceline, or we can book it with American Airlines website. Let's go ahead, let's try the flight network, see what we find there. Okay, so now we're on the Flight Network website. Oh, that's my little honey thing coming up. Just exit out of that. I hate these little pop-ups. X. Okay, so we are here. And let's see. Okay. Then, right here. So it has our flight total, $553.33. Let's just check to make sure that's the same that we found here. $553.33. Okay, it looks the same. So then what you would do here is just, fill in your information. If you want travel insurance and stuff like that, me personally, I never do travel insurance. I'm willing to bet against anything bad happening. However, you may be different. So if you book travel insurance, then go right ahead. I usually don't, but that's just me. Baggage loss protection if you want that. If you want customer support, all the little add-ons and stuff that they always try to get you to buy. But for somebody looking for a cheap flight like me, these little add-ons can add up very fast. So I usually just ignore all of them. And then you put in your information, and then you complete your booking. But that is how you do it. So I will say, it was a little bumpy trying to find the perfect flight once we got to the Matrix software. But I'm kind of glad that we hit the bumps, because I got to show you, a little bit how to work through when you run into issues that may arise with the different softwares and stuff like that. Like I said, the Matrix software isn't very user friendly, so it doesn't always, it doesn't always come out how it showed originally on the Matrix and stuff like that. But I will take not super user friendly and take a little bit of extra time any day over spending $100 I didn't need to spend if for this flighting the cheaper flight versus something else that didn't give me the cheaper flight. So that's basically how you find a cheap flight to Madrid. So to kind of give a whole recap, fly if you're going to Europe or Madrid, Europe, anything in that direction. New York's probably going to be your best bet to fly out of. Even if you don't live in New York, it a lot of times is cheaper to fly from your origin city to New York, and then New York to your destination in Europe. However, just in case, check from your origin. It won't hurt anything if you check. So go ahead and just check both to see which one gives you a better price. Also, I will say, booking with Google Flights is more user friendly, but you can use the Flight Matrix. Again, it's the ITA software, Matrix Airfare Search. If you type that into Google, it'll come up. It's not super hard to find. This is going to be more advanced if you want a little bit more customization. And then once you find the flight at the Matrix Airfare software, go to bookwithmatrix.com, which will bring up this page, and then you'll just copy and paste your results from the Matrix Airfare software into this little box right here. So to wrap, and then from here you can go on to book your flight and get the flight deal that you found. So to wrap everything up, I hope you enjoyed this video of booking a cheap flight to Madrid. If you want to reach out or ask me more questions, go ahead and leave a comment below, or you can go to my Instagram where I post all of my travel adventures and stuff like that. It is at Marquise Crawford. It's spelled just like my YouTube name. At and then MarquisCrawford. I'll probably respond faster if you reach out to me over Instagram. But either way is fine. But yeah, so again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and share this video with somebody who's possibly thinking of going to Spain or Madrid. And I will see you guys later. Thanks.